The first presidential debate is over, and I'm going to start by saying there is no way in hell Joe Biden is making it to election night. I don't think anybody should vote for Joe Biden. I don't think it's possible to vote for Joe Biden. I actually think there's a reason why this debate was held 131 days before the election. It's so that Joe Biden can be tested cognitively on the debate stage, and I think he's going to get hot swapped. I think he's going to get replaced. I think we are going to get a replacement candidate, and I think that Gavin Newsom is wringing his hands right now. It's not just me that's thinking this. According to the predicted polls, Joe Biden's election odds plummeted during the debate. His election odds fell, and I'll show these on screen here. Joe Biden's election odds fell from 48% down to 39%. Gavin Newsom's election odds more than doubled. Donald Trump's election odds went from 53% to 61%. I don't think anybody after this performance, including hardcore Democrats, can reasonably be proud of Joe Biden's performance. Not only was Joe Biden weak, quiet and tattered, and now we're hearing that, it's because he had a cold. But he was wrong on a lot more facts. And unfortunately, he inherited a tough bill. Let's be real. Donald Trump had a shock, and we recovered by printing a lot of money and a V-shaped recovery. So the reality is, a lot of people felt really great. I'm not saying that was the best solution. I'm not saying overprinting was the best solution. Let's be real. Donald Trump is also partially responsible for inflation. But Joe Biden's inflation solution, unfortunately, has been aligned with some of the highest interest rates we've seen in 40 years. And come the time of the election, we will be facing 3 years of economic pain. Multiple recessions over and over and over again. A chips recession, layoffs at the Mag 6s, an interest rate sensitive recession, a commodities recession. We're going into a consumer recession. It's not a good card for Joe Biden to run on. If the Democratic Party wants any possible chance of having an ounce of power come January of 2025, they need to replace Joe Biden as soon as possible. Joe Biden needs to step down. Well, he could finish his term. Or maybe not. But he needs to step down as a candidate tomorrow, frankly. Now, we're going to go through some of the summary. But this is crystal clear. Jerome Powell's probably going to get fired. Jerome Powell is not looking very happy right now. And so for the first time in history, we did have two presidents come together who had previously been presidents before, which I thought was very interesting. I hadn't put that together before. I thought that was interesting. And there were a lot of allegations about potential rigging from CNN. Honestly, they probably did try to cut away from Joe Biden multiple times. It looked like he was either falling asleep or coughing. We saw it multiple times. I'm glad we were able to stream it live. Frankly, I am very grateful that CNN did not take down our live stream on YouTube. At this moment, between all of the live stream sources, we're covering this and we're providing my summary. We have over 73,000 individuals watching on the three streams we're multi-streaming through. I'm grateful that CNN did not take down my video, my live stream, because if they did, we would take them and continue to take them to court. After all, we sued them before this to send a signal that we are ready to fight for free speech in America. I think, let's knock on wood, but I think we can declare victory. I think CNN did the right thing by not taking down people's streams. But let's continue with the summary. Remember the power of Donald Trump? The people who voted to impeach Donald Trump, out of the 10 Republicans who did, 8 of them lost their jobs. Donald Trump, unless there is another option here, will almost certainly be the president of the United States starting in 2025, especially after this debate performance. In 2020, 92% of black votes went to Joe Biden. I think there's a chance if Joe Biden stays in this election, those numbers will flip-flop. We have 11 weeks until the next debate. We also have to get through the Democratic National Convention, which takes place on August 19th, which is the perfect amount of time to inject a new candidate. Talking some more about the facts, we know that RFK was streaming his responses to the debate at therealdebate.com. Is it possible that he could be elevated? Not unless he wants to join the Democratic Party. Unfortunately, the American political system is not set up to support independence. Now, do I think that's bad? Probably. I like choice, but it's not the way our electoral college works, and unfortunately, independent candidates just don't succeed in America. Maybe one day that'll change. But right now, if the choice is Trump or Biden, the choice is obvious. It doesn't matter how you feel about Donald Trump's attitude or his morals or the lawsuits. This performance was the gaffe that I warned about. Before this live stream, I warned that if Biden gaffes, this election is over. Biden couldn't even walk to his podium. Well, going into this, surveys showed that Donald Trump had maybe a 10% edge in the debate going into this, and that the biggest risk was that Donald Trump would actually lash out at Joe Biden, just like he did in 2020. Donald Trump lashed out against Joe Biden, and Joe Biden came across as presidential. Well, today, Donald Trump came across as level-headed and presidential. Joe Biden came across as senile. Joe Biden, I gave him credit, had a funny joke, but his staff posted this, about this performance-enhancing, drink that he had that was 100% water and 0% malarkey for sale for $4.60 on their website on pre-sale. Reference to the 46th president. It was a good troll, but Joe Biden could not land any of his slams against Trump. Joe Biden tried to string together slams about the bloodbath or J6 or whatever he could do. Unfortunately, Biden couldn't land them. They were weak. They were feeble attempts. It was so clear that at one point across the Bloomberg terminal, you know what Wall Street reads? They literally wrote, quote, "The first 50 minutes of the debate have been rough for Biden. Stock futures are up, pricing in a Trump win." Hardcore Democrats personally texted me saying things like, quote, "Trump's definitely going to win the presidency after this debate." Then, after I tweeted that, shout out to those other Democrats tweeted me and said, "Unfortunately, I have to agree with this." This night was an embarrassment for America. The fact that this was the debate we had. This was not a debate. This was a slaughtering. We still don't know who Donald Trump's vice president pick is going to be, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, or Vivek, but honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter. Donald Trump was able to very clearly say exactly what we expected. No wars, no depression, and what we did to print money is what we had to do to avoid a larger recession. Biden talks about how, hey, when we took over, the economy was flat. Biden argued that the unemployment rate was 15% when Biden took over, and that, quote, "there was no inflation when Biden took over because the economy was flat." But wait a minute, Biden. You just shot yourself in the foot. First of all, you're wrong on the data. The unemployment rate in January of 2021 was 6.3%. GDP was growing at 1.4% on a monthly basis in January of 2021, which means we were growing at over a 14% clip in January, even more, 1.4 times 12. 16.8% clip in January of 2021. The unemployment rate was not 15%, it was 6.3. And so now what you have is Biden giving facts that were wrong, and then also the quote, "inflation was flat when I took over." That's the only soundbite Donald Trump needs to win. Listen, we know Donald Trump contributed to inflation. So did the Federal Reserve. So did a bipartisan Congress. We know that. But now Donald Trump has a sound clip of you admitting to it. on the debate stage. Biden screwed himself. This is, by the way, me being neutral. This was very bad. I know there are going to be some people that are like, there's no way you're 59-49 or, 49-51 or 51-49er. Just being honest. Donald Trump mentioned that Joe Biden caused the inflation with his Green New scams and his giveaways, which Donald Trump landed that line right after Joe Biden mentioned he wanted to give $10,000 of support to first-time homebuyers, free preschool, free childcare, debt forgiveness, and will do more for Black Americans. Problem is, Black Americans are a very small percentage of America, and right after you talk about, and it's not saying, they're not valuable, I'm just saying, right after you talk about giving away money to certain groups of people, Donald Trump goes, see, you caused the inflation. And then right after that, Biden goes, yeah, there was no inflation when I took over. I'm just saying, you couldn't have scripted it better for Donald Trump. Donald Trump poked all of the holes in Biden's case. We literally went from inflation to covering the abortion problem to moving right into the border to moving right into crime, geopolitics, the risk of World War III. And quite frankly, I don't think we even need to go any deeper. I think Joe Biden just ended his chances of being president. I am concerned about his fitness in office today. He's got another 7-8 months in office. After that, look, I thought Joe Biden did great at the State of the Union. I'm not saying content-wise. He was together. He was good during the State of the Union. And I thought we would get a State of the Union Joe Biden today. I was wrong. We got a gaffe. We got a mistake. And we just had an embarrassment of a presentation of a presidential debate to represent the greatest country in the world for the next 4 years. This is what we got. Trump didn't even have to say anything. This is embarrassing. If you feel like you need life insurance, we have a paid promotion at metkevin.com/life, and we have a coupon code expiring tomorrow for the courses on building your wealth. Stocks and Psych Group doubled our trading portfolio this year from $900 to over $1.8 million. No guarantees we can keep that going, but I send my trade alerts when I see a trend, and I try to teach how to make money in stocks, in real estate, in finance, in YouTube, in entrepreneurship, and productivity. You name it. Go to meetkevin.com to learn more. We will probably have a Gavin Newsom debating Donald Trump at the next presidential debate. Debate number 2, September 10th. I now understand why this debate was held 131 days early. Unusually early. It was a test for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden failed. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you choosing to watch my commentary. I am grateful and honored to be an American citizen, but I am embarrassed tonight. And so I just needed to tell you how I really feel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, licensed real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is not personalized advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show shall not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purposes of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services we may benefit from. I also personally operate an actively managed ETF. I may personally hold or otherwise hold long long or short positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuer other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Make sure if you're considering investing in HouseHack to always read the PPM at househack.com.